foremost, thank you very much for giving up a little bit of time on a Thursday evening. I appreciate we're still near the start of the season. It's been a very busy period for you all. So I really appreciate you giving up the time. I've committed to keeping the core of what I talk about tonight to 30 minutes. So we will be done in terms of anything that I need to say by 7:30. I'm really keen to ensure I make sure I don't take any additional time from you. But what I will do is stay on at the end if anyone does want to pick up any questions or anything that you want to unpick or ask about or follow up with. I'll stay on until everybody's gone. But the core of what I'm going to do tonight is going to be a 30-minute whistle-stop tour around the Accredited Club programme. There's a few of you on camera. I'm just double-checking before I go wading in. Has my slide moved on to the agenda? Can someone just give me a thumbs up? People at the count. Perfect. I just didn't want to think it was skipping along. I've done that before and it was painful. Okay, so the agenda for this 30-minute call tonight, it's around the Accredited Club programme. What Sheffield and Hampshire County FA are doing as part of our Accredited Club programme and the support that we're offering, the benefits to your clubs. Really important aspect is around the club development reviews. And like I said, answering any questions that you may have linked to anything that comes across tonight. What I will say is, as I'm looking to keep it nice and short for you tonight, this is a whistle-stop tour. It is designed to provoke and get you to maybe want a little bit more and engage with us and have meetings and invite us down to your clubs to have a chat about your club and your strategic plan and where you're looking to go. So it is deliberately whistle-stop tour tonight. But like I said, ultimately, we want this to be a bit of a start of a back and forth between the county and yourselves and go on a bit of a development journey. Okay, right. Crack on. So just a bit of a snapshot for the clubs that did sign up. You're not all here. But yeah, so we have 42 two-star accredited clubs in this county, and you're all one of those 42. We had around 25 sign-ups tonight, 22, 23 on there. But a really good representation from across all corners of the county, all different shapes and size clubs, all with their own different stories. And by the way, some absolutely sensational badges there. But also just want to highlight, there's loads of knowledge in this room and loads of experience within this club network that we've got on here tonight and the wider club network that we have across the county. And we want to sort of use that knowledge and experience to help shape club development in the county moving forward. And also, a lot of the time, you as clubs are leading the way with the best practice that you deliver and you do week in, week out. So again, we as a county, we're going to talk about the Accredited Club programme tonight, but there's loads and loads of learnings that we take from you as clubs, and we're always keen and eager to hear about the stuff that you're up to, so we can share that with other clubs as best practice. Across those clubs, I did a bit of quick maths. Obviously, again, they're not all here, but across those clubs on that slide there's nearly 8,000 players attached to your clubs and over 400 teams. That just goes to show the absolutely huge impact that you, our two-star accredited clubs, are making in this county. That is where we're up to 8,000. That is nearly 10% of the players in this county playing across the clubs that were joining this call tonight. So again, I just want to reiterate just how grateful we are for the fantastic work that you do. And again, just to show them huge impact and reach that your clubs have. And tonight's all going to be about how we can support you as clubs to make your clubs the best they can be. So this is going to be the heaviest slide. I will apologise. I've deliberately left it on in full text because when I send you the slide deck, this may be the one that you want to refer back to. So I will read through this. So welcome to the Accredited Club programme. It's part of England football. Us as a county FA, the FA, we're here to help equip, empower and enable your club to grow your way. And you might hear me say that quite a lot tonight, grow your way. Sorry, someone's just entering the call and it's blocking my screen. Come on, computer. I'll click that off. Has that worked? Yeah, grow your way, build to last, and be the best version of your club for your community. And again, community will probably be a key theme that I touch on over the duration of the call. So what is growing your way? Well, it's the opportunity is tailored to your club and include access to helpful resources such as the club programme platform, which is built on 5 pillars to help you identify your strengths and areas for improvement. We'll come on to that on the next few slides. Access to county FA staff support, as well as FA staff support and services. Where appropriate, FA club consultant knowledge and expertise. Support from industry experts and access to professional services. Digital resources, toolkits, podcasts, webinars, and action and development planning tools. Now, lots of buzzwords, lots of jargon on there. I think the key theme and ultimately the key message tonight is there is help here for you as clubs from us as a county FA. If you're willing and wanting that support, we're ready and willing to go and support you in the best ways that we can within the resource that we have. And obviously, resource isn't indefinite. We have certainly upscaled and amended our structure. And we also have a lot of support from the FA to start driving support to you as clubs. So that's the key message throughout tonight. So the Accredited Club Programme, sticking with it. And what is it? It recognises the 5 key areas of the club development. You can see them on the screen there. And we're working collaboratively with the FA to help support clubs through a variety of interventions, which we'll talk about more as we move through the slides. But you can see the 5 key areas of club development that we're starting to gear up and drive support towards, and then plug into clubs where appropriate. So the first one you can see there is around playing opportunities. So the stars, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star is a representation of the pathways offered by your club. So all 2-star clubs have a full pathway, and then they have an offer on another. They're playing opportunities. So that is your male pathway, your female pathway, and disability pathway. So I'm just admitting someone else in. The next one, area of development of clubs, is around facilities. All that fine work that my colleague Leon does, who I'm sure many of you have had contact with over recent years, and ultimately working and supporting clubs to work towards maximising the facilities that you have access to. And that's all different shapes and sizes. We've got Handsworth on the call, for example, with a 3G stadium site. We've got other clubs that are possibly leasing sites, some using council pitches. So we have the full sort of breadth on here, but ultimately helping you as a club to make the best of what you have. Coaches and volunteers, for those of you that know me and have come across me before, that you know this is my passion, particularly that coaching side, but working towards helping you to upskill and develop your workforce, growing your workforce importantly, and most importantly for us, how we recognise and reward those people within your clubs. And I think finally, particularly in this space with the direction of travel, it's about thinking how we can free up some of your time. So you, the people on this call, freeing up a bit more of your time to spend that time on strategic priorities for the club. I know a lot of you do so much work day to day, but your experience, your knowledge sometimes could be channeled in other directions to really help drive the club forward and meet those ambitions or grow in your way, as we mentioned earlier. Now, the next two are two that are really coming out as we get to meet our clubs. Over the last 3 or 4 months, we spent a lot of time with our 3-star clubs, as that was the first wave of work. And this is a theme that's come out heavily as we've gone on those meetings and completed reviews with them. Leadership and governance. We know anecdotally how important this area is for clubs, and sometimes not always, clubs are not always aware of just how important that is. And it can often be quite a daunting and sometimes, you might say, boring or dull subject to look at. But it's an area that when it's done right can have huge benefits to your club. And when it's not done right, it can present risks to you. But when it is done right, the opportunities to make savings, tax benefits, gift aid, things like that can be a real asset and benefit to your organisation. And it also protects the committee and shields them from liabilities, and something that's really, really important. And then community. It's possibly the newest, the most exciting sort of area that we're looking at for clubs. And it's supporting you to be those pillars within your community. So you're almost more than a football club, being that community asset, which in almost all cases can help you as a football club. It can benefit you, making you more sustainable, generally more fundable, opening up other doors other than just football avenues, other doors. And most importantly, benefiting your local community where you're based, which I think a lot of us on the call, or all of us, would probably agree that that is a really, really important thing, to be that place in your community that people resonate with and buy into and want to support and want to send their kids to go and play football and want to play vets football when they're all growing up, and so on. So this community piece is really, really exciting and new in terms of the development work that's being channeled into it. And as those of you, if you've done any facility applications recently, you'll be aware of just how important the community strand is as part of your applications. We have to engage with communities for any large-scale grant from the Football Foundation, for example. So I'm hoping as we carry on through the slides that we can demonstrate how particularly Sheffield and Hallamshire County FA can support you across these 5 areas. But as you can see, the way that's segregated on the slide, a lot of our resource is really channeled into the first 3, and then we have additional resource through our FA club consultants and other industry experts that we can look to tap into and plug into and get into our county to support you as clubs. And just to add further context, and there may be a few people on the call that have been around a while and have maybe known me for the last 5 or 6 years within the different roles I've had at County FA. This isn't my first experience of the FA really looking to drive and support clubs. But what I will say is this is the one. This isn't the false start. This time they are all in. The County FA are all in. That's a snippet from the FA's business strategy. On the next slide, again, a snippet from our business strategy, which has thriving community clubs as drivers within everything that we do. This isn't a flash in the pan. It is a strategic priority for us. And we as a county are very, very committed to really, really supporting our club network. And you as our 2-star clubs are a huge, huge priority for us over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So this is not going to be something we talk about once and never refer back to. This is something that we're really, really committed to. And I think in those first 8 or 9 slides, what I've been trying to bring to life a little bit there is this county is putting clubs at the heart of everything that we do. And that hasn't always been the case. And that's not a negative thing to say that. There's been different strategic priorities and things that have popped up and have been in vogue at that time in the past. We've had COVID to deal with, for example. But right now, we have aligned ourselves to this strategy of supporting and driving all of our support through clubs. What does that actually mean? All of our strategic planning is geared towards driving support through our clubs. The development team that work within the County FA, I'm sure a lot of you know the staff, myself, Leon, Julie, Molly. Everything we do is strictly geared towards clubs. A few examples of how that's come to life. We have to do a plan every single year within our 4-year business strategies. And we had a rule this year that if it wasn't 4 clubs, there needed to be an extremely good reason why. So I'm hoping now we're just demonstrating that we are really trying to push all elements of support towards you as clubs. So I'll aim to bring to life what we've been doing over recent months in the next few slides, and then talk about some of the stuff that we can do. So what are we up to as a County FA? So the first few months of this year has been understanding our patch in greater detail. We've been digging a little bit deeper, starting to meet with our 3-star clubs. I have met with some of you on the call as well, and some 2-star clubs to have just a catch up really and see where you are at as clubs, challenges, things that you're working towards, areas where we can mutually support you. We've also then been completing club development reviews as part of that, which we'll come on to shortly. We've also been delivering, we've delivered our first club development workshop of this season. You're going to receive an email from me as soon as this workshop finishes, because I'm going to be sending out the invite to the next club development workshop series that we're running online. So the facilities one took place last month, I believe. We've been supporting clubs to strategically plan, some with the aid of our club consultants, some with the aid of County FA staff, to really tackle their strategic priorities. We've been doing some bespoke interventions for clubs, such as the club maker, player to coach, our coaching communities, in-club referee courses and things like that. And where appropriate, we've been plugging in FA club consultants where they can make the biggest impact for clubs. Our club consultants, they're our industry experts, as I mentioned before, and their focus primarily is going to remain around that governance community bit, but it's not to say that that's all they will support with. So it's just some of those programs, as I've mentioned, that we're actively out delivering, that generally the ones I've mentioned at the minute fall across the areas of pathways and the volunteer space. So just to bring a few of these to life, the Player to Coach program, which is a program that we go in and deliver with clubs to help you recruit new coaching volunteers. through your current players. So with those 14, 15, 16-year-olds, to get them into coaching, provide them with training, provide them with wraparound support, mentoring where applicable, and get them plugged back into your clubs and hopefully keeping them in for the long term. The coaching community hubs is another example of how we support coaches that are already at your clubs. In club, coach CPD for your coaches, developing their skills, making them more confident, making them more likely to stay in the game, and making the playing experience for your players better. The Club Maker Workshop, this is a new workshop. It's deliberately targeted at young people and trying to get them to volunteer in the game, but off the pitch. So not coaching, not refereeing. How can they support you off-pitch volunteers? How can we get more young people involved in the runnings of clubs? We have Equal Game, which is a project all geared towards supporting clubs to be a safe and inclusive place for female players, coaches, and volunteers. And then we've all got the suite of FA programs as well, such as like Comet, Squad, and Wildcats. If any of those have tickled your fancy, or if anything's struck a chord and you think, oh, hold on, we'd be open to doing something like that, follow up with me when I send you the email at the end, probably tomorrow morning, and we will be more than happy. And so straight away, no questions asked, come in and support and deliver these for your club. So since January, as I mentioned earlier, after we completed our internal restructure, which I mentioned, which has shifted the staff focus and some of the staff roles towards that club support, we spent the first part of the year meeting with all of the 3-star clubs, having engaging meetings, having a look at their development plans, supporting them through their reviews, and help start give us a bit of an insight into their needs individually as a club, and then more broadly across the network against those 5 areas that we spoke about earlier. There's the ongoing work that we've done there has allowed us to align some FA club consultants directly into those clubs to start working. So we've got examples of clubs working towards changing their legal structure or looking to do some community pieces to understand their social impact, to help them with funding applications for facilities. We have also aligned some of the consultants to some targeted clubs that we're already working with prior to this. And again, they're in there to support these clubs around facility ambition, which generally requires them to have a little look at their legal structure to help them grow and work towards becoming a 3-star community club. So again, we've had that ongoing work going on. We've been sending our consultants out to go and support a number of clubs with their club development reviews. And also we're staff, mostly Leon, have been supporting clubs that we've been dealing with their Football Foundation applications. And then there's been a number of meetings, coffee shop dates, whatever you want to call it, with our development team, mostly Julie and Molly, and we do have a new officer starting soon called Jade, contacting, supporting clubs who are looking to work to really, really increase their pathway opportunities to try and offer football across all 3 of those pathways, male, female, and disability. And again, if any of those things have struck a chord, please get in touch with me and we'll be more than happy to start having those conversations with you, particularly around the pathway stuff. So we do have a dedicated team. I'm sure you're aware of most of the staff if you've been in and around a club for a while, but you've got myself, Tom Measham. Probably should have introduced myself at the start. I'm the Thriving Community Club lead. You have Leon Dearns, our head of facility. I've not written his job title because it's too long. Head of development and facilities, who is our facility lead. Molly Wilson, who is our youth football lead. Julie Callaghan, a legend, who is our diversity and inclusion lead. Jade Paul, who will be starting in a few weeks, is our adult football officer. And then we have a couple of club consultants, Wayne Bullymore and Umar, who are industry experts, 2 absolutely brilliant people who are helping us no end in this county already, and we're really excited to see how that sort of develops and carries on. Okay, so ultimately, the benefits we hope for your club of engaging with us on this program are that you'll grow your own way and you'll build to last and be the best version of your club for your community. So I do know I've referenced becoming 3-star clubs a few times already. That might not sit and fit and be appropriate for every club on this call. So ultimately, we do want to support you to be the best you can be and be what your community needs in that moment. So I mentioned earlier around the resource, we have certainly ramped up and shifted our focus towards clubs. The resource isn't unlimited though, so we will be targeting support where it's strategically best placed. And there will be elements of this that we can't do for you. So they won't always be able to say, yeah, we can get everyone a club consultant. That will always be needs led, where it's going to deliver the most bang for buck. But there's going to be loads of opportunities here for you to access some of the stuff I mentioned earlier that the County FA can deliver, but also opportunities to collaborate, network, and we will also be bringing you together where appropriate for bespoke invite-only workshops, designed or on topics that your club needs access to. And then what we'll do is we'll then support with follow-up off the back of those workshops. So if we take governance, for example, we'll talk about the club development reviews in a moment. If they're all coming back with clubs showing a need for that, we will get an industry expert in who will deliver a workshop, and then we will ensure that you've got that wraparound support to continue that journey. And then that might show us a need that you do need the consultant to come in and get you over the line, if that makes sense. But yeah, the benefits of your club, already spoken about the County FA staff, potential access to those FA club consultants, developing a clear strategic plan, which is an absolutely vital tool for you as clubs to ensure that you know where you're going and you know what you're working towards, and then starting to build around that. And where appropriate, working towards becoming a 3-star club. Nearly, I'm on time for the first time in history, if anyone's ever joined me for a call before. So, club development reviews. I'm not going to say this is the most important bit of this call. The most important thing for me is that you know that we're here to help, and you understand that you can pick up the phone to us, and we'll be more than happy to come out and have a sit with you, talk about the ambitions, talk about your challenges and where we can help you. And then look to go from there. If you take anything away from tonight, please take that. But the club development review is a really important tool for us to help us ensure that the support that we're providing is geared up and going in the right direction. So the club development review is an online platform, and it allows your club to grade itself against those 5 key areas that we spoke about at the start. So why complete it? It's a great opportunity to self-reflect. And if you're anything like us at the county, when we're busy and we don't always take time to reflect, stop and have a look at what we're doing before we start cracking on with the next thing. So it's a great opportunity to reflect, and even better if you do that as a wider network, not just maybe a secretary. Can we get the whole committee together? Can we engage maybe with some of our members to check and challenge their thoughts? It's a first step towards strategic planning. So working out what do we want to get done in the next year? What's the 5-year ambition? And what steps do we need to take to work there? Who do we need to engage with? County FA, Football Foundation. What support do we need? It demonstrates a strategic need for support, and that's a bit jargony. But ultimately, if you are showing us red in an area, that's a kick up the backside for us to go, hold on, how can we support this club? And again, if you're looking for funding, if you're looking for support from the Football Foundation, again, you're demonstrating a need. We're green and orange across a number of areas, but we're struggling with facilities. We have a need for support in this area. It allows us, as I said earlier, to align support to your club. So we know where you need or what you need, and we can align support to your club. It also, and this is super important, allows us to spot trends across the network and make sure our support's being aligned to that. And it does indicate to us which clubs need club consultant support right now. That isn't to say that going red with everything is going to guarantee support. I will put that out there now. We have had one club try that. Okay, so like I said, the club development review is really straightforward. I'm going to send you how to access that. As a 2-star club, you already have access. It sits outside the club portal, but it looks pretty much the same as the club portal. It will ask you a variety of questions across the 5 key areas, and you essentially rate yourself against them: red, orange, green, or gold. Like I said, it's really important that if you're going to go and do this yourself without support, and we'll come on to the support, that you have a network around it and not just one person and their opinions, because your opinion of something may be different or perceived differently to other members of your committee. So we might think we're brilliant at something, or normally it's the other. We think we're rubbish at something, but then when you actually have that open chat, you think, actually, we're doing a pretty good job here. And you may be being a little bit too harsh on yourself. So a couple of examples of what that looks like on the development review. It can be completed online, or you can print it off and circle it, work through it, and then go and input it online. So this one's in the leadership and governance. It's a specific question around leadership and essentially which of the statements are true. So it goes all the way from gold. Our club leaders have created a vision for the club, implemented a positive culture across the workforce, and are future-proofing it. Structure as it becomes a progressive community organisation, being the gold answer, all the way down to red. We don't have a vision or developed a positive culture and the work or a positive culture among the club workforce or stakeholders. And essentially have that conversation, give yourself a score, and you move on to the next question. So there's 5 or 6 questions in each of the areas. Again, sticking with leadership and governance, a question around legal structures, possibly for me the most important question on the entire development review. Our club's legal structure is fit for purpose and matches our future aspirations and ambitions, all the way down to we don't know the legal structure and everything in between. So they're just a couple of examples of how the club development review looks and feels. And like I've said, it's vitally important that if you are going to work through it, you do this as a committee and not just an individual. There's between 25 and 30. I've done a few with clubs. My consultants have done a few with clubs. It depends how deep the conversations go, but you can work through that in an hour in a normal committee meeting evening slot. It's not going to take you 3, 4, 5 hours. It may be something that you'd like to do, leave and then revisit to sort of come back with fresh eyes. But yeah, it's not going to take you 3, 4 hours. It's an hour and a half sort of task for you. This is a snapshot of what it will spit out at the end. And like we said earlier, this helps us to sort of understand the strategic needs, wider trends, group you as clubs together to go Dog and Duck, Red Lion and the Queen's Head all need this support. They're all based in Rotherham, so we'll fly a consultant in to do some work with those 3 clubs specifically for that. That's where we want to take this, but we need the information to help us ensure that we can do it. So that's what it will spit out at the end. So it's 29 minutes past. I'm fairly proud of myself here. So what's next? That was a lot of information. You will get the slide deck. You will get the recording. And ultimately, like we said earlier, if you take one thing from tonight, it's that the County FA are here, ready and willing to support your clubs to develop. We have a number of resources in place and we want to help. So I'm going to send you a follow-up email following this. It's going to be tomorrow morning. It'll be probably lunchtime by the time I've got to the office and done a few things. What I will do is we'll contact you and send you the access stuff for the club development review. I'm going to click onto the next slide actually, because in fact I'll come back. We will offer you the opportunity, or if you are a club based in Doncaster, Wakefield, Huddersfield or Barnsley, we've allocated our consultants to support with your club development reviews if you feel that you want support. If you're based in the south of our county, so North East Derbyshire, Sheffield, Rotherham, Worksop, I'm your appointed person to come in and support if you'd like it. So we'll copy in your relevant support officer for the club development reviews. But we'd like you to book in a meeting with us at your leisure. We're not saying as soon as possible, but at your leisure. Book in a meeting with us, get those CDRs done, and then following that, you as a club can review. We can support you to create a strategic plan if that's something you'd like to work towards. If you do, we certainly want you to share those plans with us and then grow your way. That's what this is all about. So those club development reviews, like I said, you've got 2 options. You can go away yourselves as a committee, complete a draft of the club development review in-house without any support from us. And then what we would like you to do is arrange a meeting with us to discuss that so we can do a bit of checking and challenging. Or your alternative is you book in a meeting for us to come and support you through your club development review. And therefore, we're there from the start. We can sort of lead the discussions and sort of get the feel for where you think you're at and input the data for you. So you have those 2 options. We're more than happy to do either. So like I said, if you're in the south of our county, I'm your point person. If you're in the north, top half of our county, if that makes sense, our club consultants are allocated to support you with the development reviews. So I will copy in the relevant staff. If you're in the north of the county, I'll copy in Wayne and Umar. And then from there, it's up to you how you'd like to proceed. if you'd like to proceed. But like I said, if there's one thing I want you to take away from tonight, is that help will always be given to those that ask for it. And I think those that know me, that know Leon, we've been in post now for nearly 7 years. If you pick up the phone and ask a question and we can't answer it, we'll go and find you the answer. If you're having difficulties, challenges, we'll find a way to support you. What we can't always offer is you've got your eyes on that 3G project. Those things we can't always guarantee. They're the question marks. They're the things that we can support you to explore, but we can't offer guarantees. But we're here to help. We've got a team of staff with now me and Leon at 7, Julie and Molly have been in post 5, 25 years worth of experience working for this county FA in this local area, plus the new staff and their expertise that are coming in, plus our consultants, and plus the national staff that we have access to. We're here and ready and willing to help. If you can bring us into your inner circle and allow us to come and support you, we want to do that. So if you leave with any message, it's that. So that brings to an end all the slides that I have. Are there any questions? And I appreciate I've gone full speed there for 31 minutes. So take a second just to digest. If you have any questions, if there's anything you'd like to pick up, either raise your hand or unmute yourself. I'm happy to stay on and answer those questions. For those of you that were absolutely rigid, that you're sticking to the 30 minutes, we are finished. So if you are planning on leaving, you are absolutely free to do so. And I'll be following up, like I said, with those emails. But if there's any questions, anything anyone wants to unpick, fire away. I will give it a minute. I'm not just going to leave the call, by the way. Cheers, Dan. Those of you that are still on, if you haven't written your club's name in the chat box, just do that for me again. I should be able to go back and work out who was here. It's just really hard when I'm sharing the screen. It doesn't always show that well for me. See that. Next time we'll have a look through the slides. Yeah, brilliant. Cheers, Simon. Cheers, John. This is either a really good sign that I was straight to the point and there's no questions, or are we saving them? Cheers, Craig. Thank you. Be in touch tomorrow. Thanks, Tracy. I'll speak to you soon. I can't believe it's the first time I'm ever finishing on time. This is perfect. Steve, if you're still there, do you have any questions? Stop the recording. Stop the recording.